Hi everyone, Jared here with Day Traders FX. I hope you guys all had a wonderful weekend and you're ready to get back into the markets. We've got some cool stuff to talk about today, some good levels and some nice little retracement, just all kinds of things. But quick little look before we get started, make sure you have a look at Day Traders FX. Stop by daytradersfx.com and just see the latest article about MetaTrader 4 Mobile. This is a question I've been asked so much and we finally got a really good solution to all of this. So read this article about MetaTrader Mobile. It is fantastic. Okay, so let's have a little quick look at how the markets have ended up today. We saw a pretty flat, pretty boring market most of the day, and then it just spiked out of control and ended up making this nice big comeback here. We see that the Dow is looking like it's going to close right around 130 plus points. In the positive, S&P up about 20 points. Huge day for both markets. U.S. equities are doing great. We saw that oil was down about 91.50, and here it looks like it's going to close right around $93 a barrel. So everything's kind of made a pretty nice comeback late in the day, and we're going to see how that's going to affect some of the pairs that we're looking at. As far as news goes, today we have some New Zealand news out in several hours, and then coming into the UK and US session tonight and tomorrow, we have the CPI. That's going to be a big mover for the UK. We also have existing home sales for the US. That can typically be a little bit of something to keep an eye on, and then we have some Japanese news tomorrow afternoon. Dollar index. Look where the dollar index failed right here, 82. It came up to that 82 mark, which we've talked about several times, and it just couldn't quite make it above. It had a little bit of trouble getting above that 81. Now 81 is going to be support, hopefully enough support to bounce this back up to 82, to the 82 mark, and through 82. So we're going to be looking for that to happen as the week goes on and on and on. Okay, so here's what we're looking at, and here's what a lot of people I think are wondering and thinking. Is this the end of the downtrend on the euro dollar and so on? And I don't think so, but what I do think is that it has definitely double bottomed right here. This is a big, huge double bottom. This is no small level. And I sent out that Twitter message last week sometime talking about how the euro was approaching this. I sent out a screenshot and I said it's going to bounce, and it definitely has bounced. We've seen this hit as low as about 26.40, 42, 43, right around there, and it's up off that level by a good little chunk. Now, is the downtrend over? We'll see, but I don't think so. I think that what the euro is more focused on doing is kind of recovering some of this big downward movement that we've seen. This is still the time of month where we're coming into the last week of May, which is still a very strong trending time typically. And we should see some nice little bounces and retracements and so on, but the trend should be able to continue. So looking for the euro dollar to hit the first fib level here of our last high of the 3-week range here. And our first fib level, as you can see, is about 28.85-ish area. And then we have our next fib level, the 50%, which is just above 129.50. So some nice round numbers. You can see a lot of consolidation in that 129.50 area. And this is where our fib level is, our 50% fib level even, which is that much more important, as well as our 4-hour gap and a whole bunch of other things. So this is a great area for the euro to retrace to before continuing down and potentially testing that low and even taking out that low. But nothing too surprising to see this working up the way that it is. As far as a trade setup goes right now, this one's going to be a little bit tricky. We're going to watch these trend lines and these levels, and we're going to see how things kind of go. I don't know what I want to do quite at the moment, so we're going to update this as the UK session, or excuse me, the Asian session goes on and as we get into the UK session, because it's kind of just in that area where I would like to short at some of these highs like 128.85, 90, and up here just above 129.50 as well. I think these are good areas to look for some short-term reversals. But we're going to talk about that and see how the markets play out over the next several hours and coming into that UK session. But right now we're just watching these levels, our 38 and 50% fib, and waiting for the market to kind of reach those and give us some opportunities. The pound dollar, on the other hand, has some much clearer levels here. We have a very nice channel, which is not very big. This little channel is just about 55 to 60 pips, and it's been going for just about 24 hours now, and that's a pretty tight channel to be running as long as it has. We see that we have about 158.40.50 at the top of this channel. Really, it's about 158.40. That's really where the level is, but you have to take into account 50 because that's always kind of a crucial level. And a break above that should be able to take this pair and test, hopefully, that 15900, which I think we'll see, 15900. So we're looking at that, and we're going to see how that one goes and works. If it doesn't break above 158.40 and run into 15900, which is, I think a very reasonable target for this this time of day, month, year, and so on, then we're going to be looking for this to break back below 157.85, 90, right in that general area. But 157.85, this has turned out to be a very strong support right here as well. And we're going to look for the market to short as the market breaks down below that. And likewise, we may be looking for some sell opportunities on the pound dollar as we get into some of these fib levels as well. You can see that we've got definitely some levels to keep an eye on, and they're all at those round numbers. Look at where our first level is, the 38% fib, 159.49, 159.50. Always those 50 and those single number fib levels are very important there. So 159.50, and then just above 160, about 160.15 is where our 50% fib is. So both of these guys are crucial levels, but I definitely think we have a very good chance of at least making it up to that 38 before the pound probably continues down. I think we're going to see some retracement, but I still am looking for a continued downtrend on all of those pairs there. Euro yen, quick little look at the euro yen. It's already breaking above this level right here, which is the 101.50-60 area. And I think the euro yen is going to come up and just test this resistance. This is just the next kind of logical level that I'm looking for. So look for a little bit of pullback as the day goes on, but definitely looking for this euro yen to run up into that 10200 area, and I think we've got a very good chance of that happening. So let's keep our eyes peeled and let's see how things go there. And if we get a nice little chance to ride some of that upward movement, there's 35 to 40 pips in that upside activity. Otherwise, we're going to be looking for this to break back down below about 101.20-25 area and start testing these lows again. So just watch this trend line, and we're looking for that area to possibly get tested and continue back down. But for the moment, we're looking to just target 10200, and I think we'll probably get there sooner than later. Watch the pound yen. Not loving the pound yen a ton, but I think it's definitely worth keeping an eye on. Above about 125.70-ish or so, I think we've got a good opportunity to trade the pair up. So just kind of keep that in your back pocket. And the Aussie dollar, again, this is kind of in one of those areas where there's not a ton to do except for wait for 99.60. 99.60 is going to be very important. Above this area, definitely looking for a 100.50 probably as a target. But we may also see some resistance and an inability for the pound or for the Aussie dollar to break above that, and we could see some nice shorting opportunities. So we're going to have more on that as we go through today. But I'm going to be watching that level closely. A break above, another 50 pip run, bounces off, and we should see the Aussie hit those lows once again. And again, a lot is going to depend on what gold does. Above 1600, all those pairs should continue rallying. But if gold cannot break above 1600, which I think it's going to be able to, then we're going to start to see things fizzle out most likely and start to see those downtrends on all those pairs we just talked about continue. But we're definitely at some strong resistance right here. Very, very nice little diamond-shaped movement, and it looks like we're going to see probably a little bit of a break, but we're going to come into this 4-hour gap right here. And remember, that's going to be strong resistance. It might be able to get above that a little bit, but it's going to struggle, at 1600, 1625, and so on. So just keep your eye on that. Other than that, we'll have some more levels updated in the chat, and I'll keep you guys posted as we go. Keep an eye on Twitter, and make sure you have a look at the latest update on the website at daytradersfx.com. Best of luck, guys. We'll see you in the chat.